The chief's hut was burning, but no one tried to put it out. We all just stood there, frozen, watching the fire as his screams echoed through the night. This happened many years ago, but it still haunts me. Our chief, Chief Ademo, was a powerful man. Everyone feared him. Not because of his strength or wisdom, but because of what he did to people who crossed him. Ademo was greedy. He took more than his share of the harvest, demanded gifts from every family, and punished anyone who couldn't pay. One time, I saw him whip a man in front of the whole village because he refused to give up his only goat. My family kept our heads down. We gave him what he wanted, even if it meant going hungry. My father always said, better poor than dead. One day, a stranger came to our village. He was old, with a long gray beard and a walking stick. His clothes were simple, and he carried a small bag. He asked for food and water, but no one dared to help him. When the chief heard about the man, he was furious. He marched up to the stranger and shouted, "You don't belong here. Leave before I make you leave." The old man didn't look scared. He just stared at the chief and said, "I will leave, but first, I must warn you. Your greed will destroy you." The chief laughed, a loud, cruel sound. "Get out before I have you whipped." The stranger didn't argue. He turned and walked away, disappearing into the forest. That night, strange things started happening. The chief's cattle broke out of their pen and ran into the wilderness. His granary, filled with stolen food, collapsed without warning. By morning, his wealth was gone. Chief Ademo was furious. He accused the villagers of plotting against him, but no one had touched his cattle or his grain. He shouted and threatened us, but we stayed silent. Then, the nightmares began. The chief said he couldn't sleep because he kept seeing the old man in his dreams, pointing at him with a burning finger. Every night, the chief grew more restless, his eyes darker, his voice weaker. One night, the screaming started. We all ran to his hut and saw the flames. The fire burned so brightly that we couldn't get close. Inside, the chief was yelling for help, but his voice sounded far away, like it wasn't coming from his body. Then, the fire stopped. Just like that. There was no smoke, no embers, nothing. The hut was gone, and so was Chief Ademo. We never saw him again. Some people said the stranger was a spirit sent to punish him. Others said it was the curse of his own greed. Even now, no one builds anything on the spot where his hut stood. It's just empty ground, overgrown with weeds.